Hey gamers, it's Wintermute here from Grind This Game. Today with something a little bit different. This game's called Path of Exile, which I used to play a lot of about a year ago. But there's a new expansion that came out about a month ago, the Fall of Oriath expansion, which is version 3 of this game. So it went from being 3 acts that you would do kind of in 3 different difficulty levels, repeating, to being many more acts now. I think there's 5 or 7 of them now, and there's only 1 difficulty level, so you play all the way through I think it's 7 acts or 10. I'm not sure on the number, but so we're going to start a brand new character, and I'm going to go with Harbinger, which is, there's kind of 3 main ways to play: standard, and then usually there's challenge leagues, which is in the middle here, and then there's a hardcore version of the challenge league. So, and then there's also some parameters you can do. You can do hardcore, which means if you die, you kind of lose everything, and you don't start over, but you skip back down to the regular difficulty. What else? The solo self-found is new, which means you can't trade or anything, which makes it you have to find all your own gear yourself. So I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with just the default settings, which is Harbinger, non-hardcore. And we're going to go with a Templar.
You swore sinew and soul to serve God and the Order of the Templar.
Yeah, so that's a little intro for the Templar. So I'm going to be using a totem build, and there's this specialization that you do later in the build, and I'm going to go Hierophant. At least I think I am. I'm probably going to use a Frostbolt totem build, which I found, and I'll link to that in the description. But I'm not necessarily sticking with that. I just thought I'd start out with that build. So let's give this guy a name. Let's call him, we'll try Sir Wintermute. Oh, that name was available. So here we are, starting out right from the very beginning. And let's skip, I'll skip all tutorials. So this game's a bit like Diablo 2 and 3 in some ways. It's kind of a dungeon crawler. So get a little starting weapon. And Scroll of Wisdoms let you ID items. Now the interesting thing about this game, and kind of sets it aside from many other games, is this skill tree, which looks crazy and insane, but it's not as crazy as it looks. So you can start off with various classes. I started off with the Templar, and the Templar skills are kind of in the area around the Templar, but you have the ability to kind of snake over and crawl over to other areas in other classes. So there's no fixed class, but you kind of have a starting area, but it allows for very flexible builds, tons of different combinations and permutations. But it's not all the possibilities of this tree, because there's certain nodes on this tree that are replicated throughout. Like these little strength nodes are common. Health nodes, those are these ones, life and armor, or just life nodes. Let's find some life nodes. Right down here, life. So there's life nodes like this are spread all around the tree. So that kind of reduces the possibilities of builds quite dramatically. But there are lots of unique skills in here. And one of the skills that we're going to go for later on is this Ancestral Bond, which lets us build an extra totem. And totems are kind of like a minion you can put down, and they can fire spells on their own. But we'll can't do that right away, but later on we'll be using totems.
You and I, we're the only ones that made it to shore.
I'll probably skip the a lot of the dialogue, leave that for you guys to
Even death gives no solace in this tortured land.
to enjoy. Now, the other kind of unique thing about this game is the gem system. So your skills aren't kind of tied to your character, they're tied to these gems that you get. And they they get experience as you level them up, and they have level limits as well. So if you see like a gem in trade, sometimes you can buy a gem that's too high level for you to use. So we got glacial hammer here. Let's pop, and you place them in items to start using them. So we'll try this out. And there's a map. You can just a mini map that comes up with hitting tab. So you've got mana and you've got health or life, and you get these potions, these flasks, which they're perpetual. They last forever, and they recharge as you kill things. So a lot of people, I feel, don't use their flasks as much. But I tend to use them often. Now I'm not really into the melee builds as much. I prefer ranged. So I'll put this hat on. It's got a regular attack, which isn't very strong, and then our magic attack. We'll be putting on this equipment as we get it. I think there is an option to auto-wear equipment, which I'm not sure is on by default or not, but... So we're out of mana. We're almost out of mana. But as we kill things, we can recharge that mana potion and use it. And if you die in standard kind of mode, non-hardcore, the penalties for dying are really small in the early levels, but as you get higher levels, they become more dramatic. You basically lose experience if you die. I really like totem builds because... Oh, I just leveled.
It would seem my god has no need for my company just yet.
Yeah, so I like totem builds because they're kind of like ranged, and the totems take all the damage instead of your character. Not always, like if you're fighting a boss you might get hit, but... So now that we've leveled up, we've got one skill point here. And you start, for Templar you start in this area, kind of in the left middle of the tree. And I'm going to go with probably more damage. Like I said, I'll share the build that I'm using, which lays out which skills I'm going to be taking. It's the P key to open up this passive skill tree, it's called. Now at the end of this little starter zone is a town, and you can sell items that you've picked up and buy other things. Here's a boss guy. Use your potions. He's pretty easy. So we picked up another flask there, but we can't use it to level 3. Oh, and we've got a support gem here. Support gems work by, you see on these 2 gem slots are linked with this little bar. Sometimes they're unlinked. So if they're linked, the skills will kind of help each other out. So we can use that with this, and they'll kind of spread the attack over an area. So here we are at town. So if you hit the U key, you'll get kind of your quest map. So we're in this town right now, Lion Eyes Watch. We were just in this little Twilight Strand area. And this map will kind of open up as we do quests. And there's waypoints throughout the game for kind of fast travel. Very handy. But you actually have to touch it. So if you enter a new zone and you find one of these, you want to touch it just to activate it. So got some quests here.
I know you, the blasphemer.
I'll skip through the dialogue.
Isn't much.
Now she sells gems as well. I'll probably get Freezing Pulse. Which costs a Scroll of Wisdom. And we want Frostbolt as well. Raised Zombie is also kind of handy. If you're going to be a caster, having some zombies is often useful.
While we live, we are blessed.
A tyrannical.
Got some more quests
There's
here.
an island. A hop, skip, and a wade on. Fine work with Hillock.
Probably grab lightning tendrils as our reward here. So now we got 2 more quests, or yeah. Let's sell some of the junk we picked up.
Stay sharp out there.
Now I've got a bunch of stuff in my stash from... Oh, actually I have nothing in my stash. Probably because I'm not playing standard, I'm playing in the Challenge League. So we'll have to kind of find all our own stuff along the way. No cheating. Ooh, look at that thing. So I guess I'll continue on here, up the coast.
What in God's name is that smell?
I usually put my main attack on E. That's just what I prefer. You don't have to though. Oh, look at these guys. So our gem just leveled up. You can see this over on the right here, so we just hit plus and it'll go up a level. So if we look at it now, it's the gem itself is level 2. So we got more damage and probably more stuff out of it. Actually, let's identify this robe. And we'll wear it instead, because it's more of a caster type of equipment. And that way we can link, or we can put some of these gems in. Start leveling them up. And same with these wool gloves. Might actually use Freezing Pulse instead as my main attack. Which looks like this. Freezing spells are good. It slows down. Ooh, slows down the enemy. Ooh. That's part of the Challenge League, defeating a Harbinger. Alchemy shards. Never seen those before. And we leveled up Frostbolt. So look at that. Probably use this wand instead. And you can wield 2 wands at once. Oh, another flask. Let's equip that right away. You can also just shoot the wand without casting a spell. Looks like this. Not as much damage though.
My prayers are thus answered.
Leveled up. Let's pick our next skill. Now make sure to do this in a safe place because you can get attacked while you're in this menu and die. Let's go with mana regeneration and life. And we're going to level up these 2 gems. And actually I'm going to make a zombie. So you need a corpse to make a zombie. You just cast it when you're near a corpse and you'll get a free zombie or 2. So the max I can make right now is 3. But they'll help a lot. They go and attack things automatically. It's got a second one now we can use. One other thing I should mention is there's this secondary inventory here that you can use. And if you put items in it like this, you can actually level up gems in these secondary slots as you go along. So it's pretty handy. So just make sure to swap back to your main weapons. But those gems will level up as well. Now there's magic potions you can get later that will heal up your minions as well as yourself. But we'll get into that later. pummeled. So this boss, bosses you can tell are in orange. He's casting Firestorm on us. Which is a really good AoE spell. Got our first amulet. Let's remake our zombies here. So amulets, this one just regenerates life. Just goes up here. Now the spell damage on these two wands are kind of adding up together, which is nice. That's why it's good to wield two wands at once. And there's a bunch of these in-game currency items, like the armor's scrap, and orb of transmutation, transmutation, and alchemy shards. Can use this light flask now. And there's no one currency in this game. All these items have various relative values and you use them for trading. But there's no one kind of gold currency. Chaos orbs, which are fairly rare. They're kind of used as a relative measure of value in the game. And then there's a really expensive rare item called an Exalted Orb, which you can use for buying really expensive items. Level. Just keep going up the tree this way, more damage. Now you can only make zombies if you have corpses on the ground. So if there's no corpses around, you can't make them. There are skeletons later on though that you can make. They don't require any bodies, dead bodies. And there's spells that enable you to put kind of dead bodies on the ground to make your own corpses. But I'm not going for a summoner build, so I don't care that much about it. I just use the zombies because they're nice. They help out a bit. They can save your life sometimes. Now what is that thing over there? Oh, so there's a waypoint up here. So like I said, you have to click it to activate it and then it'll start glowing after. And I might actually go back to town, drop off some stuff, sell some stuff.
Welcome. Stay sharp out there.
Now it's worthwhile saving some items, like armor that has quality or weapons that have quality, because you can trade them in for special currency items later, so I just kind of stock them up. So this game is free to play, but there are paid upgrades like more stash slots and funky things that you can buy. So I've kind of purchased some of the extra slots. Let's head back out to town, or to the place we were. Now if you stay in town too long, the zone you're in, it kind of despawns, and you'll have to re-explore the map to see everything. So we're going to go down here and do our first quest, which is this find the medicine chest one on this Tidal Island. And if you hit U, you can see that this kind of the quest area is here. You have to go. So here we are on Tidal Island. We'll go down this way. Oh, get chased. Whoa, a lot of guys. Run! So I cast my zombie there 3 times to replenish all 3 zombies and get them all to full health. I generally don't pick up white items unless there are a few special white items, but most are garbage. There's kind of a boss in this zone we're trying to find. And he has that medicine chest. Oh, there's the boss guy. Tail rake. Now those zombies are doing a great job of tanking. Lots of loot.
Spent.
Let's get that medicine chest. Amulets. Probably pick up these blue items.
I am no beast of burden.
Oh, but I'm overburdened. Let's toss scale vest maybe. And we'll just kind of run around the back of the zone and take the waypoint back. Unless we have a portal scroll. We don't have one yet. There's a support gem you can get later called something like Life Leech. And if you link that with your zombie spell, your zombies will get the ability to leech life and kind of regenerate themselves. It's pretty handy. Gotta get down there. Elementals.
The path becomes clearer with each bloody step.
Another level. let's do spell damage. So this little thing down here is just telling me to go back to town, turn in the quest. Do that. And we'll just go back to Lioneye's Watch. And turn in that reward.
I'd almost stopped believing in miracles. This medicine chest.
And I suggest you get a quicksilver flask here. And it will let you, when you use it, it makes you run faster. Very handy. Sell some of this junk.
Goodbye.
Now you can wear 2 rings, but just 1 amulet. And we'll probably wear the mana regeneration one instead. So that's it for this episode. I'll be doing more kind of help guide videos coming up after this one. And as always, thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying these. And we'll see you next time.